This is the scripture. 70 weeks are determined for thy people, that the futurists have taken and dissected the last 7 years and have thrown it into the future. Now, who promulgated that misinformation was the beast that rises from the sea, who is the papacy. And if you are unclear, you can find 10 proof points that only the papacy fits in Revelation 13, 1 through 10. They fit every point perfectly and exactly. Now, the Jesuit order was created by the papacy, and they created the Jesuit order in order to kill the Reformation. And you know, the Reformation, Martin Luther and all those guys. Okay, so you would see why that system, that power would skew Daniel's 70 week. Okay, so the 70 weeks was cut off from the largest time prophecy, the 2300 evening mornings. So 457 plus 2300 years, because you must add the year-day principle, you come to 1844. And it is the 10th day of the 7th month, the antitypical day of atonement, the day of one-ment. And what did ancient Israel, what was the Day of Atonement? It was putting away sin so you would not be forever cut off. Now, also, in this time prophecy, God let us know that that power, that little horn power, he cast down truth of the temple, of the sanctuary. He practiced and he prospered. But the sanctuary will be cleansed at the end of the 2300 evening mornings. So you can see in the sanctuary articles that papacy who ruled during the Dark Ages, which was an offshoot from pagan Rome, the Caesars. Every article in the sanctuary, that entity, that system, cast truth to the ground and practiced, and it prospered. But in that same time prophecy, God said that he would also restore every single article. In fact, truth was cast down at the altar of sacrifice. You see that the truth was restored at the altar of sacrifice. Truth was cast down at the laver. Truth was restored at the laver. Truth was cast down at the table of showbread. Truth was restored at the table of showbread. Truth was cast down at the altar of incense. And truth was restored at the altar of incense. Truth was cast down at the 7-branch candlestick. And truth was restored at the 7-branch candlestick. And finally, truth was cast down at the Ark of the Covenant, which is a representation of the throne of God. And finally, truth was restored at the Ark of the Covenant. And because judgment started at the house of God, judgment started the 10th day of the 7th month, and he started judging the dead. Anyone who ever professed the name of Christ, starting back at Adam and Eve. Now, we do not know when judgment will go from the dead to the living, but it will happen and it will happen before the plagues fall. In fact, the people of God will be sealed, and they will not experience the wrath of God that will inevitably be poured out. So while I do not absolutely find any biblical evidence for a rapture, I do understand, and I would like to say, if you are rapture ready, therefore you are confessing and putting away sin while we have a high priest still in the heavenly sanctuary, then absolutely that's what you need to focus on. We absolutely, in the concept, need to be rapture ready. But in the same breath, I am not promoting the rapture, because in that theology, there is a second chance. And I'm going to tell you that is one of the biggest lies, that people will have a second chance. Nay, I reject it. Get ready. Stay ready. Because when Jesus comes and parts the clouds, his reward is with him. And I realize that this probably sounds like I'm speaking Spanish, because you will not hear this in mainstream Christianity. And if you are interested in Bible truth, hit that like and follow button.